Órale, Cholo Trucker Wrestling. We have shout outs to all the junkies out there, and we have a new Judgment Day. A new Judgment Day. Um, Basically, the only originals that you have is Finn Balor. You could throw in Dominic Mysterio in there, but Dominic Mysterio came in a little bit afterwards, when he turned his back on his dad. But we'll go ahead and throw him in there as an OG, man. That's fine. He's doing the best, Toms. Hey, that kid is doing great. He is doing great. But so now you got the former El Campeón, Damian Priest, and Mommy out of Judgment Day. And a few things here. So now you got this new Judgment Day of JD McDonough, you got Carlito, Finn Balor, Dirty Dom, and his new squeeze, Liv Morgan. How do you guys think this version of the Judgment Day is going to pan out? Now, this is a different Judgment Day than what Edge originally put together. I think people forget that Edge is the one that put this faction together and they kicked Edge out. Um, this is actually a heel faction now. It's something that I've been saying for a while that Mommy, Rhea Ripley, and El Campeón, or former El Campeón, Damian Priest, they were too much of baby faces, man, to be in a heel faction. It was a little bit of conflict of interest. It's like, especially with Mommy, her more than anybody else, because she was really, people were really cheering for her. People were really loving her, and they still do. And for her to be in a heel faction, and not only that, being with Dirty Dom on top of it, who's one of the most hated, if not the most hated, in all of WWE right now, possibly in wrestling. It was just a conflict of interest, man. Now you really have a heel faction right here. However, you lost some pretty big star power. Damian Priest, I don't want to call him a superstar, but he was, when it comes to this faction, he was a pretty big star, man. But especially Rhea Ripley, which let's talk about her for a second. In the fact of her being called mommy, is she still gonna stick with the name mommy, or do they just leave it up to the fans? Do they just leave it up to the WWE universe for them to chant it? Because she was mommy because she was with Dirty Dom. Now that she's not with Dirty Dom anymore, should she still be called mommy? Are people, I think people are gonna continue to call her mommy, but I think it might die off. But hopefully she still rocks with it, man. It's just she didn't really seem to lean into it till the WWE universe just kind of went with it. And then she just rocked with it, man. And it was working and it's been working. So I'm just kind of curious now that she's not with Dom. Is she still gonna keep on going with with the nickname Mommy as opposed to Rhea Ripley? I don't know. We'll find out. I guess if it dies off, it dies off. But now I believe Carlito will shine a little bit more because he hasn't really been doing much. JD McDonough, who was getting his ass kicked by Damian Priest, man. And honestly, Finn Balor, man, Finn Balor was pretty popular at one time. I'm not a big Finn Balor fan, but he is a good wrestler. He actually, I thought, in my opinion, was probably out of the four, was probably the lowest on the totem pole when it came to the Judgment Day, especially once Damian Priest became champion, once he became El Campeón, probably even before that when he became Senor Money in the Bank. Finn Balor just kind of seemed like he got left behind Dirty Dom, behind Rhea Ripley, behind Damian Priest. Now it's going to be his time to shine, man. Now, of course, he says there's no leader in Judgment Day, but I think this is probably going to be his time to shine to kind of take the ranks and be somewhat of the leader. Now, Liv Morgan is in there. Her character's growing. Their relationship, her and Dirty Dom, is gonna be the most hated relationship. Nobody likes JD McDonough. He's just kind of like a little weasel. Uh, Carlito, he's like a funny heel. He's the guy that, you hate him, but in a joking way, but he's gonna get some shine as well, man, just because they were just overshadowed by Damian Priest, not as much, but for damn sure, Rhea Ripley. So, what's your guys' thoughts on this new Judgment Day? Is it gonna last? Is it gonna work? I would say, as long as Dom and Liv keep this story going and they stay with the Judgment Day, I think it will survive. And they can all kind of shine. They can all get their time to shine, man. They're all pretty good wrestlers. Like even JD McDonough is a pretty good wrestler. Nobody really takes him serious, but inside of the ring, he's pretty good, man. So let's see how these guys shine. Let's see what happens with this faction. Does it last? Is there a Judgment Day this time next year? SummerSlam next year, is there still a Judgment Day, or would it have broken up and everybody gone their separate ways? You guys let me know. Cholo Trucker Wrestling Rehab. Shouts to all the junkies. Catch you guys on next one.